This is kind of fun too, you know, when you do this. It's almost like a pollock in the beginning, but instead of using the stick, I just used gallons of paint. And that makes the fun part. And now what I'm going to do here is put this down a little bit. Because that's some paintings look kind of cool before I start messing with them. At least my mind do. Realm in the background.
I think you missed a spot.
Oh, that's all right.
I'm just joking.
That's okay. Here we go. We'll make Blue Ridge Mountains. See how thick this is? This is pretty well going to stay where I put it. Now the paint is going to roll over the top of it. We'll make it a sunset thing here, so we'll make it roll right. And of course, we're going to need some clouds. Here's my cloud paint. It's fine. Choose it.
So Paul, when we say you make a painting, I mean, you make it soup to nuts, right? Like you build the frame, stretch the
Yeah,
canvas.
I make the stretcher bars. I stretch the canvas. So from everything down, it took me about 4 months to decide on the stretcher bar construction. Ooh, that's going to be a good flower color.
Boy, that went down almost like glue. Huh?
Yeah, that's going to be a big glob, so that ain't going to go very far. You won't get a lot of spread out of it. I just want to kind of keep that there. We'll make this the sunset part, which I've never put a sunset in a flower painting yet, but we're going. That looks kind of good like that, don't it?
Yeah, it's kind of fun already.
Connie's always wanted me to do one, just pour all the paints together and don't touch it. So now we're getting ready to start playing it. So really it's not as difficult as it looks when we finish product. So far, pretty easy, huh? Yeah, so far pretty easy.
Just like they taught you in art school, huh?
I didn't go to art. I came up with this idea about 10 years ago. And I had the idea in my head, I just didn't know how to get to where I wanted to be. I know what I wanted, I just didn't know how to get there. And so I played with a lot of paintings. See, that's a lot of paint. I played with a lot of paintings to find out what paint does. And of course, none of them are masterpieces. Most of them were lining a barn floor in Salem, Missouri. I mean, that's a true story. I tried other paints, it just wouldn't do anything. And then, of course, you know, you can buy a gallon of latex, you know, for $30, $40, and that ain't bad. So that, it was kind of a cost effectiveness in the beginning. But then, once I started doing what I do, then I found out other paints won't do this. See, there's quite a bit of paint in that center. That's all right. Okay, so see now if I was painting with brushes, I'd already gone through 4 12-inch brushes. And then once we start doing the flowers, and I go through this stuff really, really quick. $1,000 on that. Now see, that color's in there. See, it's starting to come through now. And you wouldn't think that would happen like that, but that's what I think's cool. You're starting to see some of it come through right through here. And then just that little bit of peach. I put all that peach down there just to get that little spot. And depending on how hard you push down on it, I'll leave some dead spaces in there. See, I think that's just enough, you know, we put that big blob of yellow in there, and that just made this little spot right here. And that peach just made that right there, and then brought that over there. And that's it. So, you know, how do you do that with a brush? I don't think it's possible. It may be, but I wouldn't want to try to figure it out. And so instead of bolding all those colors in, you get all these fine, see how that's still coming out? So that will continue to pop up through there because that was a little thinner. Now that yellow's kind of hard to come through, but that red's doing real nice. Now we'll add a little interest to the mountains. And of course, see, now we got enough paint where that's going to start flowing. And that's how I get the fluid flow of the painting and get it to do what I want. So now everybody knows my secret. It's not much of a secret, I guess. See, I want that one edge to fall off. Now that yellow's coming out over here on the top. Of course, this is just going to be the background for it. So far, so good. I'm liking it. This is cool here. This is what I envisioned when I started pouring that paint down. Well, see, this is kind of flowing up like a wave. Now, if I go in here and touch this, it'll look like I went in there and touched it. You know, if I drew another one through there, it interrupts all this. So now, basically, that background's done, and I got that dead space there that I'll go ahead and leave. And I was going to put some more white in for the clouds, but I don't think that's would be as effective. See, I like this dead space, and it's got that little bit of orange. You see that red's still popping out. Now that'll probably be covered up when I start doing the flowers. I like it just the way it sits now. It almost doesn't need anything else. It almost looks, I mean, it could be a finished painting. A nice little desert scene or something, a beach scene. I'm liking it. I'm really pleased with this. Now see, my big thing now is not to put anything over the top of that. So that's kind of a bummer, because something will happen, you'll go, well, you know, I was really going to fill this up with flowers, you know, or foliage or something like that. And then next thing you know, well, now I can't put anything here because that's too cool. Yeah, that's looking good. I'll have to stare at that for a while. We're going to start making some big daisies in there. I'll put one there, put one over here. Then what I try to do is not to cover up every cool. And sometimes it's, you know, I don't have to decide. Like if I drop a piece of paint there and there was that yellow bubble, well, that's where one goes. Now these are going to be kind of see-through flowers, I see. That's all right. That's kind of cool too. Like this guy here is really going to peel out on me. And this ain't the centers. This is just going to make the next layer. Yeah, see, this is going to be a real understated, where you're painting, the paints are all thick. You know, so the flowers have a real distinct look to them. Here, yellow just to kind of flare that out. Now, of course, you know, there ain't a distinct number of petals or anything like that. So it is kind of an abstract, expressionist view of the flowers. Flowers are looking great. I haven't stuck my stomach in it, or my shirt. So that's all, ooh, see this, that rocks. That's why I thinned down that yellow paint, just to get a little more transparent. I don't know, it's not really transparent, but see all this snake skin here? I'm hoping that's going to happen on all of them. It's not going to, but I hope it does. And we're just going to make these. Well, looks like we got a spider lily going on here. I don't want any black spots in the painting, so each one of those black ones, you have to be a new little scoop and a new little brush. And if I drop a black, sometimes if I do it like that little bit of red, I can get rid of that, like that. I like those little squigglies in there. You know, they don't exactly line up right. We can fix that. That's just going to be foliage. I only needed two. Oh, these little globs when I started dipping in the paint, when I was painting with a brush. When I first started out, I started painting with a brush, and I said, well, I like those globs. How can I get those? Or amoebas, or whatever they are. And it just happens when I had that green paint stirred in here, and when I went in and dipped, those started making little interesting little islands.
And is that because one paint is thicker than the other?
One paint's thicker, one's just floating on top. Everything like that, so now I can remember not to step in that spot. Let's see, let's bring this guy down here. Now I'll start filling these in a little bit. And see how I just put that black in there, so instead of painting that black, it's already in there. And we're probably going to put some more flowers on top of these. Looks good to me. I don't like them all looking. And see, now there's a painting. There's the snake skin and everything, so that's kind of like how it happened. And then I just kind of had it happen on a canvas, and that was the good part. Let's go make little flowers too. I'll put some different colors in there. These just kind of make a nice natural bend. When I do. And we might put some white daisies in there. Now, it's kind of the fun part, you can actually come in and do something, but it still has to be done before it gets dry.
Here's a question every artist must have to answer in his own head, I assume. When do you know you're done?
When it's finished. This I'm looking for a little fuller thing. I love the way the red and yellow's going together. So we're almost done, believe it or not. Because, mine it looks complicated, but one of my paintings are really uncomplicated. The paint does, a lot of the work. So I pretty well had an idea what it was going to be and how far it was going to go. And so far it's actually turned out better than I anticipated. Because I think the red and the yellow is just rocking. And I've used this red and yellow combination on several paintings. See, even the drips. See how that drips kind of fell in there? I like that. So that's a little world you would see. But it makes it interesting. Because there's just so much paint on there now. Where these big bad boys, you know, they got nice and full, and I didn't have to worry about any other colors. And these are going to be a little more compact. Yeah, because every time I touch something, it's grabbing that color. It still makes a nice effect. Happy accident, I guess. And I can feel that. That paint's 3/8 inch deep there. Yeah, a good 1/8 of an inch. That's what it just gets a little more expressionistic each layer I put on.
How'd you get purple out of there?
Yeah, there's a little purple in there just from that black and that red. That black from the center over there. Figure out how to do that. I guess if we put a lot of paint down and then globbed in it, then it would work. But it'd be really cool if you get that effect in the paint, which I've never seen anybody do either. No. Each one of these, I have to do each one separate.
What if we built a canvas?
Give them that dolly effect. See, this right here is just awesome. This is the whole focus of the painting in my book. Yeah. See, this is kind of leading the eye in, and the main thing's right here. This is where everything's happening. This guy's gotten real elongated. That guy got squat. This guy's turned orange. Here those guys in the center go again. And now they're bunching up. And see, because this one's been painted first, that paint's actually underneath that paint. So that's why that's looking like it's more 3D now. This is rocking. Which of course has colors that flowers don't have. But I'm thinking we're just about done. I might have to fill that in a little bit. I see we need some stems there. Another stem coming down here. But this is all, see, kind of conglomerated together now. Look at this. That's really cool. And then, see, this is all starting to blend into one, and you can't paint that. The grass. I didn't put a lot of grass in there. It's kind of like a mono subject. You know, we only got two kinds of flowers. We got little grass. We got big fat leaves. But still, we got that nice sky. The background's coming through. I see a need for another leaf, kind of filling in this spot here. Actually, I need more green for that. You know, the flowers go up about 2/3, you know, a little over half, and that's going to look really different when it's straight up. You know, when you can look at it straight on. And in about 3 days, we'll be able to see what it looks like.